r/ask Reddit. What's the stupidest thing someone has said to you with confidence? A distant cousin, who has long been a complete dumbass, once told me that whatever direction she is facing is north. It came up when I was on the phone giving someone directions and she was nearby. I said something like go north on X street, then take a left on Y, etc. She overheard me and said that I didn't make any sense because whatever direction you're facing is north. So north changes depending on which way you are facing. I said no. North is north. It's only the direction you're facing if you happen to be facing north, and she started arguing with me over it. She definitely was not just ducking with me because she is a dumbass that has a long history of saying really stupid shit. Your cousin is a compass. That she could never use a sperm donor to have a kid because she wasn't 100% sure that the baby child would speak English. It's probably for the best that she won't use a sperm donor. It would be best for her to never parent at all, no matter the means of child acquisition. You should try to incorporate cinnamon and apple cider vinegar into your diet. Then you can get off the insulin and use more natural products to control your blood sugar. I'm a type 1 diabetic. Have you tried not being diabetic? I honestly haven't. It landed me in the IQ lol. You shouldn't wear a seatbelt because, in the event of a crash, you're better off being thrown out of the car than being trapped in it. As an EMT, it would certainly be less paperwork. You're not Asian, you're Chinese. She's Asian. You don't know that. She could be Korean. The Greeks didn't have metal. That's true. Metal music still is not present in Greece to this day. Anything deemed too metal by the government is adjusted before the population's consumption of the media to lower volume, light and harsh vocals, and edits out the word metal and then rebranded as hard rock. Space was created by Disney to further the hoax of space Earth being round. He was dead serious, and he quoted his own brain after much research as his source. I wish I was kidding. Wow, what an idiot. Everyone knows Disney created the hoax of space in order to sell more copies of Star Wars. My front desk gym rep. I gave them a 1-week free gym membership, the 27th of March to March 35th. And it would have been March 34th anyhow. Exactly, so many levels of dumb. They even hand wrote a 1-week free membership card out with the same dates. I didn't see the card until the member came in the next day and showed it to me to check in for the day. They didn't even say anything. Oh, I don't believe in electrons. I've never seen one. Have you? No, I didn't think so. I guess they're trying to be more positive. If you ever fall out of a plane without a parachute, you should grab onto the ground when you hit it so that you don't bounce, because that is the bounce that kills you, not the first impact. He swore that it was true and that a skydiving instructor had told him. I mean, I believe the skydiving instructor told him that, but the skydiving instructor probably thought he was smart enough to get the joke. I had a roommate in college who visited Spain and thought that it was hilarious that people there commented on his accent. For him, I don't have an accent. I'm an American. Tom, you're one of the reasons that people think that we're all stupid. In a similar vein, a friend of mine in college had a boyfriend from the UK. You would not believe how many people asked him how he was able to speak English so well. It was horrifying. I was having a conversation with someone from the UK and one of my friends complimented his accent. He said he liked our accents as well, and she just goes, "We don't have an accent, haha." The look of utter confusion on this dude's face killed me. When I was moving to Hawaii, I had a friend ask if they had cars roads there. She believed they got around using tiny boats. Imagine saying you are from Egypt. 1/4 is greater than 1/2. Canada is part of the United States. My Canadian friend told me once. Legit, I think some people confuse North America with United States of America. Not saying it isn't outrageous, but at least I get how it happens. Was talking with a few friends and one of them got on the topic of going to a gynecologist appointment and said, well, while he's down there, he might as well do a prostate exam. Chaos ensued when she refused to believe that women didn't have a prostate. You're blind, so you don't need to wear a mask. W? Well, yeah, how will they use their echolocation to find their way around if they're wearing a mask? I believe the ferrets have laid their eggs again in the attic. I hear them strolling around since a few days. Again, I have so many questions. I worked at CVS and this woman was buying a 6-pack of smart water. She asked me if it would make her smarter, and when I said no, she asked to speak with a manager. You should have told her she couldn't possibly get any dumber. So I definitely laughed and said number, and I think that's why she asked for a manager. She got mad because I made her feel dumb about her smart water. When I was in grade 10 of high school, in the US, so we were 15-16-year-olds, a guy in my class argued with me because he was insistent that the penis has a bone, because, and I quote, "Why else would it be called a boner?" Interestingly enough, while human penises do not have bones, the penises of almost all other primates do. I can't make you come because your legs are short, and girls with short legs can't come easily. Probably not the stupidest, but they didn't have planes in World War I. This was said while we were playing Battlefield 1 from a high schooler who has seen It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown at least a couple of times. Also, to make this better, this happened on 3 separate occasions. The disparity in technology was incredible though. In the beginning, cavalry was still being used. A visiting professor insisted that daylight saving time is needed at latitudes closer to the equator instead of farther from the equator. She then claimed that she lived in the USA for a while and she had experienced DST herself. Her reasoning was that New York observes DST and New York was near the equator. When I pointed out that it snows in New York and it's not close to the equator, she claimed that she had been there and it never snows in New York. We live in India, within the tropics, and we don't observe DST, but she claims we are far from the equator. She was easily the most arrogant piece of shit I have ever met. She was wrong about so many things but aggressively yelled what she thought was right. People in high school didn't believe me when I told them that English came from England and was indigenous to England. Similarly, for some reason, someone in college insisted that English was indigenous to America. A few of my co-workers and I went out to eat after work to a local bar and grill. One of my co-workers is pescatarian. Another one of my co-workers, Chris, is prone to speaking with absolute confidence about things he has incredibly little knowledge about. Janice, pescatarian, orders buffalo shrimp, which is listed under a header of wings and bites. Chris with supreme confidence corrects her and says, "No dear, those are wings." He got possibly the dirtiest look I've ever seen as the table started laughing at him uncontrollably. A friend of mine is from Chinese origin but was born in France like the rest of us. A girl in our class deadass asked me if it meant the mother of my friend took a plane to China while she was pregnant to have her daughter be Chinese. We were 17 and in a scientific curriculum. When I went into the nuclear navy, I got the equivalent to a PhD in nuclear engineering in 6 months. All the real nuclear engineers just fell down laughing. Talk about brainwashing. Having gone through that program, I can attest that it's rigorous. Having gotten out of the nuclear navy and going to college to study nuclear engineering, I can attest they are not the same. You can only get COVID-19 if you get bitten by someone who had it. COVID positive people also have to be invited into your home. That's why I haven't gotten it. Nobody wants to visit me. That the way I'm pronouncing my own name is wrong. An aunt made my 18th birthday cake and spelled my name wrong. When it was pointed out, she said, "That's the way I spell it." She was insinuating that my mother spelled it incorrectly. My brother-in-law said that black people have 6 toes. I'm black and said that isn't true. We actually argued over it. You sound very controlling from the way you asked me, "Excuse me, where is the toilet?" That ridiculous woman was my supervisor. All I did is minding my own business. If you were being dominant, you would have just shit right on the floor in front of her and walked away. Was talking to an old hippie about weed once. He insisted that there existed 2 different kinds of grams, metric and imperial. My dad's story. A co-worker told my father that you should always bring someone with you in the operating room when you're having surgery or else the doctor will molest you. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but apparently the guy was 100% convinced that every doctor would do it. I mean, the surgeons did mess around with my chest during my breast reduction. There was a guy I knew from the UAE in college with me. We were talking about track and field for some reason and he blurts out, "Yeah, Women shouldn't be running so fast because their ovaries will burst. He was absolutely serious and insisted this is a well-known fact taught in high school biology. Someone once told me that smoking cigs will help treat my asthma. BC my lungs would be building a tolerance to the smoking, and that means that I won't have such a hard time during asthma attacks. BC my lungs would already be used to the strain that smoking causes. He even tried to back it up with my friends have asthma and they smoke. I had a teacher in school who confidently claimed that sharks were mammals, probably confusing them with dolphins, whales, sea lions, etc. Waterboarding isn't that bad, it's just where they drip water on your head. I think they're confusing it with another form of water torture, where they do just drip water on your head, for hours and days. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.